Hello. Today I will be reviewing with Wormy here, little snake boy, every Nine Inch Nails album and EP. Let me know if you disagree, because I'm cool, I'm hip. From worst to best. In last place we have Not the Actual Events. Now again, I love all of these albums. Not the Actual Events is probably just this is an EP. It's probably the least interesting out of them all. Branches Out of Bones is a fun song. It's pretty cool. It's definitely, I feel like I've noticed some newer bands have like ripped off that sound that they do, like Atom Age. And that song, but that song's pretty good. And then She's Gone Away has a very cool vibe to it, which is why it was in, I think, Twin Peaks. But yeah, besides that, the other songs I never listened to. I've listened to the album or the EP like 4 or 5 times all the way through, and it didn't do it for me. 10th place is Bad Witch. Now I hate that these are 2 of their newest albums. I love Shit Mirror. It's one of the best songs that Nine Inch Nails has had since. Okay, Less Than is very good. I'm not gonna lie to you. But besides that, it's the best song since something off of With Teeth. Yeah. Maybe even off of The Fragile. It's one of the best songs. I just love that vibe. Are you alive? I like Play the Goddamned Part. That's what it's called. Yeah, Play the Goddamn Part. Let me show you the back of this vinyl. I don't really like the cover of this one. I'll be perfectly honest with you. I think it's kind of pretentious, but like that's how Hesitation Marks was. But there's some cool artwork on Hesitation Marks. This one is just kind of like weird random images, but maybe they're not random to Trent Reznor. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. Yeah, but besides that, Play the Goddamn Part and God Break Down the Door. Very good songs. But then the last 2 I don't listen to not that very much, like Not From This World and Over and Out. They're pretty whatever, I think. And I love Nine Inch Nails, so their whatever is better than anything on the radio. But they've done better than that. Alright, Wormy. Number 9 is Year Zero with capital G and Survivalism, which are 2 very good songs. And then there's some other good songs, like The Good Soldier has a nice it's kind of like, it's good, but it's not like great. Any of the rest of the songs, like it's a pretty consistently good album, but it's not perfect. I feel like it almost feels like it was mailed in. You know, I think this album might have suffered is because it's the first time that there wasn't a 5-year gap between him making albums. There was a 3-year gap between With Teeth and Year Zero. All the other ones there was a 5-year gap. Besides, I guess technically there has been like EPs, like Broken was released between Downward Spiral and Pretty Hate Machine. So that does throw a wrench there. But that is still an EP, so technically this is the first time he released an album, and not within 5 years, or within 5 years, and with less than 5 years. Okay. Next we have The Slip. I think this is number 8 at this point. The Slip's alright. But it's a sophisticated goofiness. Like A Million is the most obvious example, where he's like going crazy. It's like he's on cocaine the whole time. I don't really think Wormy's adding much to this video, so I'm gonna put him back in his tank. Wormy wanted me to tell you guys that his favorite album is the Downward Spiral, because he's a poser. No, I'm just kidding. Downward Spiral is great. We'll get to that later though. So yeah, The Slip is good. Not every song is great though, and there's a lot of songs that I don't listen to too often. But I think it is the best so far, obviously, because I ranked it at number whatever we're on right now. I have to wait for this train to pass, I'm sorry. It's getting hot in here. That's what happens when you have freaking like too many animals with heat lamps. And it's still too loud. Now, Pretty Hate Machine. I know people are gonna get mad at me because this is not as high up on the list as I'd want it to be. With EPs, it's not even in my top 5, and I'm sorry about that. I know it's probably some of your favorites. But this is the first album that got me into Nine Inch Nails. There are all these tracks in the album. I don't think there's anyone I don't love. Except for Sanctified. Sanctified's a little lost on me. Sorry. It's alright. I think it was a poor choice to put it at number 4. But yeah, anyways. Every song on this album, from Head Like a Hole, Terrible Lie, Down in It, Sanctified for the most part. Well, not for the most part. Sanctified's too long. It's too long. I'm gonna be 100% with you. It's too long. Something I Can Never Have, which I already mentioned, is better on the Still album. So if you haven't heard that version, check it out. And if you're watching this video, you probably have, but it is significantly more impressive of a song because it's only piano and light guitar. And like I guess in the music video of it, that's all there is. In the actual album, there's a little bit of synth in it too, which I was not a fan of when I found out. But yeah, then Kinda I Want To. I think it's a very underrated song. I love this song though. It has a fantastic chorus, probably my favorite chorus on the whole album. It's not talked about at all. And Sin's a classic, of course. I hope they never stop playing that one live. Same with Terrible Lie. That's What I Get is great. It wasn't good live when they played it live, but it's a great song. The lyrics. That's the one that you can kind of tell that Nine Inch Nails was still trying to figure out what kind of lyrics they should have. And Ring Finger is one that also has weird lines. I almost feel like it should be a cover, but it's not. But it's a good, fun song. Better than Pretty Hate Machine. So now these ones are going to be harshly criticized, I feel like. But number whatever is Hesitation Marks. Every track on this album is great. But this is like the first album since With Teeth, I'd say, that I was like, this is mind-blowing stuff. This is amazing. Copy of A is freaking a phenomenal song. Very unique, Nine Inch Nails. Very unique to Nine Inch Nails, but not only that, very unique for Nine Inch Nails. The only other ones that stick out is I Would For You, which I think is the only lyrically well-written love song by Nine Inch Nails, if it is a love song. That's what it sounds like. I don't know if it is or not, but it sounds like a love song. And yes, that includes Wearing This Together. Forgive me. That one has the line, "You're the queen and I'm the king." I'm sorry, that is just a little goofy for me. And that is Hesitation Marks. Alright, what's next? Add Violence. Ahaha! Yes, better than Pretty Hate Machine is Add Violence. Every song on this album is 10 out of 10. Yeah, for the most part. Especially Less Than. Less Than is probably the most re-listenable Nine Inch Nails song of all time. I've been listening to it ever since I discovered Nine Inch Nails, and I still listen to it probably on the daily. I honestly feel like Trent Reznor, if you wrote every song like that, you'd be like Orgy, which is not what you want to be. Orgy has done far less than you have. But I like Orgy. I am so sorry about that fridge. This album's great. 10 out of 10 recommend. Or this EP, sorry. And if you don't want to include the EP, that's fine. Just figure out what that would be for you. Alright, next one is The Fragile. This is probably the one I've listened to the most because there's so many songs on it. That is the main reason, though, that it's not number 1. Is if you took off, there's some songs I don't love. It's too long. There's too many songs on it. It took me like a year to make it all the way through it because I'd make it through the first 10 songs and those are all pretty good except for like Even Deeper, like I mentioned. That song is alright, it's just not great, okay? But Somewhat Damaged is possibly the best song of all time. It is perfect. Like a trillion stars out of 10, you know? I just love that song. Possibly my favorite song besides, well, we'll get to that later. There's a bunch of other classics on this album. Like, there's so many great songs. This one, like, if you don't, I feel like people start out with Pretty Hate Machine and Downward Spiral, but if I had to recommend someone to start out with an album, I'd probably go with this one. How's that look, huh? Am I cool? No. Okay, With Teeth. This is a hard one to decide whether or not it was better than The Fragile. It's more consistently good. The Fragile has more good songs than this one does, but it's also because this one has less songs than The Fragile. Nine Inch Nails' best album lyrically. Like, Love Is Not Enough. I think that is one of the most underrated Nine Inch Nails songs. And I think there's also The Lines Begin to Blur. And this one's a tough one. This changes every now and then. But as far as how good an album is consistently, I think Downward Spiral is not number 1. It is the second place. Downward Spiral is great. I love almost every track on this album, besides the title track. Because The Becoming, the first time I heard that, I thought that was freaking just noise. I was like, what is this crap? But now I listen to it, and it's one of my favorite songs off the album. But Downward Spiral just kind of goes downhill. But every other song on this album, Mr. Self-Destruct was at one point my favorite song of all time. The more Nine Inch Nails I listen to, the less I feel that way. But it is great. It is chaotic. It's similar to like Broken and the simplicity of it, but in the chaos factor, it goes so high, and that is important to mention. Wow, I'm gonna have to edit so much of the crap out of this video. One thing I will mention that I don't think enough people mention, Piggy is 1,000 times better live. I think it is an amazing performance live. I think it is, like, especially the one that was off of the All That Could Have Been, that live performance, that live album, freaking amazing. Like, that is 10 out of a trillion, or what, 10 out of a trillion, that's not good. 10 out of 5, or, okay. Anyways, that is a great performance. I think the actual song that's on Downward Spiral is good, but it's not as good as it could have been. My favorite Nine Inch Nails album or EP goes to Broken. Oh, man. Yep. My opinion is a great way to start out a concert. It's their best concert opener by far. They do it on Mudstock, and it's freaking phenomenal. It's on the album itself. It's really not forgettable, but it's really not that interesting. But the hype up for the concert would have been mind blowing, I feel like. And then Wish, I didn't always like Wish because I didn't understand what it was saying. I thought it was saying we share something real, and I was like, that's freaking stupid. I don't know what's that. What is this, a freaking love song? Ha! I think their most underrated song of all time possibly is Last. It's not very Nine Inch Nails, and I get that. It's not very like techno. It's not very industrial. It's more just hard rockin', great riff, great vocals, just so much fun. I love that song, and I love it live too. They do a good job live. And then there's the closing track of Suck. And Suck is great riff. It has a similar riff to Sunspots, which is also probably one of my all-time favorite Nine Inch Nails songs. If I could have written any song, it would have been Sunspots. But they have similar riffs. But besides that, it has a great chorus that may have been inspired by Blue Monday, which is okay. It's okay. I'll live with that. Anyways, that is my list of every single Nine Inch Nails EP and album ranked. I'll go through them real quick for you. Not the actual events is at number 11. Bad Witch, number 10. Year Zero, number 9. The Slip, number 8. Pretty Hate Machine, number 7. Hesitation Marks, number 6. Number 5, Add Violence. Oh, I switched it up there a little bit. Number 4, The Fragile. Number 3, With Teeth. Or With the Teetha. I forgot to mention that, because technically that's how it's pronounced in the song, with teeth. And then number 2, Downward Spiral. Number 1, Broken.